How's it going?
It's going.
What's happening?
3 times in 1 week. You guys are probably sick of us. We haven't done that in a long time.
I know. Yesterday I was editing. We put up a video yesterday of Vikki and the estate buyout that she did this week, and I actually linked down the description below to that video in case you haven't seen it yet. But I was
It's
editing
a short
it.
one. It's a short one.
Okay. Let me say though, it's like a 10-minute video. It's a short one, but it takes so much time for the very simplest of video like that to edit it and put it all together, get it uploaded and everything. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, this is why we do live videos.
That's totally why,
because
we're so lazy. This is why we do live.
It's not that we're lazy. We
also like to interact with our
That's true too. We're selectively lazy, okay, guys? Because we both work our butts off with our jobs and everything that we do. But when it comes to making like the pre-recorded videos, even a short video, if it's got multiple clips, it just takes a lot of time. And so I'm the lazy one because she's not going to do it at all.
I don't even know how.
She wouldn't be able to.
I mean, I could do it if somebody taught me, but
yeah.
I refuse to learn, so therefore I don't have to.
Right, which is why
Who's the smart one here?
I've actually been bugging her to do more of her vintage women's clothing hauls where she like goes over labels and everything like that, because those are super easy because I can do them in like one long clip or two if it goes.
Yeah, it's one long take.
Yeah, so those are super easy. So hopefully she's going to do one of those for some of the clothing that she got from this big estate buyout. But hello, everybody! It's Sunday.
Hi.
Sunday live haul. If you are a newcomer, if you have just arrived, if this is the first time watching us, I apologize for Vikki's conduct that will most likely take place during the next hour and a half to 2 hours. I am Katy. This is Vikki, aka Victoria, when she wants to be taken very seriously.
Ooh, you're yelling.
Aka the stamper of all fun. Aka my fiance. I'm yelling because I'm excited. Sorry. I see Timothy in the chat. I did see our favorite Canadian throughout the end of 2020.
Katy.
Bought and paid for, well earned. So, and everybody else that's come to hang out with us.
I do see Allison is making eating salmon and burning every oatmeal raisin cookie recipe she can find.
How many oatmeal raisin cookies recipes do you have? Come on. So this is almost finished. Very good. Very good.
Cheryl's in the chat. Cheryl, we love you. It's good to see you. I know you have been MIA for a little while. Cheryl's mom is real sick right now. So
so
if you want to take a minute to wish her some good thoughts, that would be appreciated, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Definitely some good thoughts, some prayers going out to you, Cheryl, and your mom. So yeah, it's Sunday. It's our live, normally our only live show of the week, although we did have a No Pants Friday After Dark holiday edition day before yesterday, which is up if you guys want to go check it out. And so for this show, we break it up into 3 parts. The first part, we go over our numbers for the last week, our gross numbers, some of the costs that go into that, fees, cost of goods, shipping, yada, yada, yada. Middle part of the show, we go over the sales highlights of some of the things that we've sold over this last week that we think are interesting or educational or whatever. But as always, you can always go look at our solds on eBay and Etsy and see everything that we've sold, even the boring stuff.
And there's plenty of that for both of us. Yeah,
for sure. And then, of course, the last part is our haul. If you watch the video of the estate buyout, obviously there's a bazillion, at least 1,000 pieces of things that you bought. So you pulled out. I pulled out some of the stuff that you've already done some research on, so you can talk about them a little bit more.
I can sound a little somewhat intelligent about them because I've done a little research
whatever
on the items.
Give me a break. You can go through dolls you haven't looked up anything and be like, yeah, this is like Princess Catherine of I don't even know what. And you start talking. I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever.
Allison says, we hate her gifts and now I'm not her favorite Canadian. 2020.
I'm sorry.
You make me laugh every time.
Okay, wait a second though. I would like to make it very clear that is all on Vikki. I love your gifts. I think they're awesome.
I would also like to make it clear that I have loved every gift she has ever sent, with the exception of the was it the dried crickets for you to eat? Because that was just gross.
That was like the coolest gift ever.
Because that was just gross.
We got all kinds of great stuff. We get like art. We get art from the kids, like this amazing, very fancy piece of art rock right here. So I think that we've got
and just the and the salmon thing was pretty gross, but everything else I've loved.
It's just you are full of disrespect. Okay, all right.
And Allison, I'm sorry, Kathy bought and paid for her #1 favorite spot as our favorite Canadian. She bought and paid for it fair and square.
Only through the end of 2020, and then that spot's going to be open right back up again. Okay, so you never know.
There's going to be some fighting. You don't see fighting with Canadians very often. I don't know.
Yeah, they do a lot of yelling, and then they follow it up with a sorry and all that. But,
very sorry.
Very sorry. But Allison, you can regain your position if you do finally get that pig and add that pig to your menagerie, and all will be forgiven. Anyway, all right. So we want to go ahead and get into the show. What do you think?
Yeah,
we got some stuff. So you have your estate buyout. I have a huge more
T-shirts,
another 3 garbage bag filled haul from yesterday's fits. She went off to Utah. I took an Uber and went to yesterday's fits, and then when the guy came,
we're one of those one vehicle families, because we never go any damn place.
Never ever is an issue,
like twice a year,
maybe twice a year. And she was going to Utah, and I'm like, I already said I was going to yesterday's fit, so have fun by yourself. So she had to pay somebody else to go with her.
Well, that was not why I had to. I had to rent a friend for the day.
All right,
I paid.
We're gonna go ahead and preemptively remove Vicki's phone, okay? Because she's gonna be
Crystal. That's your fault. That one was your fault.
Sending message. You shouldn't even be looking at it, okay? My phone isn't even in front of my face.
It lit up.
Excuse me, I wouldn't even know if my phone lit up because it's not in front of my face because I'm a professional. So listen, Vikki, I want you to bring Victoria because she is the professional. And Vikki will look at her phone. Victoria would not dare. I'm just saying. All right, let's go ahead and look at our numbers.
So listen. I need to clarify that I did not need to bribe a friend. I paid a friend to follow me down there with her vehicle and to help me load said vehicle. It was a 2-hour drive each way. She deserved to be paid for her time.
Yeah, I'm sorry that everybody's going to listen to what I said, and what you're saying is just an afterthought. Sorry,
you're a jerk.
She's just real sad that she didn't have my free help.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. Let's go ahead and look at our numbers. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. And we'll start.
Allison and Kathy are like,
they're about ready to brawl. All right. I'm going to go ahead and.
Jennifer says, Katy, why are you not answering my text? You guys are on a roll today.
All right. Let's go. 1-800 rent a friend. I think it might be a 1-900 number. All right. So we got to pay for it, man. So this is for week ending yesterday. So it's from last Sunday to yesterday. Now, eBay, I will say, looking at my numbers anyway, for me, I never really had a Q4 level of sales as far as eBay goes, but Etsy totally performed as expected. So I'm happy about that. So I had 24 orders going out on eBay, 19 on Etsy, none on Instagram, 7 on just Grail. I didn't have any Mercari orders this week for a total of 50 outgoing orders. eBay, my gross was $1,728.99. And Etsy, I did really well on Etsy with $1,369.66. So Etsy is definitely my last 30 days. I'm definitely up to Q4 numbers. Cannot say the same for eBay. But that's all right. $420 on Grail for a total gross of $3,518.65. So I'm actually really happy with that. Anything over $3,000, I'm good as far as gross goes. Shipping, $274.60. You can see the breakdown of all my fees there. So my total cost there, and then my cost of goods, $430. Vikki actually beat me this week with cost of goods because I think particularly because of one thing she sold. Mm-hmm. And so my total net sales, $2,434.90. So anytime my net is over $2,000, I'm satisfied. And my gross average sale price, $70.37. As you guys know, my goal is always to be at $70 or above. I don't always make it there, but I just barely made it this week. And my net average sale price after all my costs, $48.70. So I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to take a moment to feel that thoroughly. And now we'll look at Vikki's numbers and I can feel inadequate yet again. Here we go.
So eBay has been very good for me for the last few weeks. I did have a few weeks that I felt like it was underperforming for Q4 numbers. And these are a little bit low, but still good. So 47 orders on eBay, 12 on Etsy. For me, Etsy has been very good as well. 9 on Poshmark, 3 on Mercari. I did not have any sales on Facebook Marketplace. I don't think my stuff's very well suited to that platform, but I still persevere because it's free to cross-post. So a total of 71 outgoing orders. I did 29.17.92 on eBay, 872.56 on Etsy, 963 on Poshmark. That's crazy.
You're killing it on Poshmark.
Yeah, I've been doing very well on Poshmark. 134 on Mercari for a total of $4,887. This was probably one of my best weeks this year. Shipping was $479, so shipping was a little bit high. It's usually around the 10% of the gross sale price. eBay fees $349.66, Etsy fees $74.17, Poshmark fees $192.60, Mercari fees $18.32 for total cost of $1113.75. Now, my cost of goods this week were pretty high. I will tell you why when I show you one of my solds. One of my items that was $275 alone as a cost of goods. So if you were to subtract that out, that would me and my cost of goods were pretty low for what I did sell, actually. So my total net, $3,138.73. My gross average sale price, $68.84, which is
you're nipping at my heels.
I'm very happy with that. And my
net, have that one big sale.
Net ASP $44.21. So that's a good week for me, and I'm pretty happy with those numbers.
Very good.
And this week I did not have a bunch of damage claims. I did not have a bunch of item not received claims, knock on something. And I did not have a bunch of returns. So I have to say, it was a good week. Last week, I felt beat the hell up. Across all of those things.
I mean, to be fair, I remember last year you having a pretty high level of returns, not quite to this level, but
in December,
I will say that you also have much higher numbers this year than you had last year. Mm-hmm. So I think that's always going to come with additional issues.
I think so. So this December was a little bit rough for damages. I've talked about it before, and I'll just say it briefly. USPS is not paying out claims for many, many people, and I think that is their new way for damaged stuff. And I think that's their new way of doing business. I have had 6 claims this entire year, 5 of them from this month, and they are all denied. Mm-hmm. And that's with multiple photos. They want your customer to take the item packaged up and bring it in with the packaging to the post office. Nobody is going to do that. You're required as a seller to give a refund for a damaged item. No customer. I have no problem getting photographs. Customers are always compliant when I ask for photos. If you ask nicely, they never give you a problem. But I cannot ask a buyer of mine to take in first of all, mine is one of them is a 65-pound package in pieces in the middle of COVID into his post office that is 30-something miles away with the packaging in a pandemic the week before Christmas. Are you crazy? Come on now. If some seller asked me to do that, you can know exactly what I'd tell them. So
something real rude.
Anyway, it's just they've all been declined. So, and unfortunately, if I have a breakable item, I am looking into ShipSaver as a third-party insurer, or I am shipping it through Pirate Ship or through FedEx. I don't have any issues with claims through FedEx. I have not had any through UPS yet to speak of. But unfortunately, this one item went to Puerto Rico, and the only option to ship was priority. And that's it. I'm just totally screwed. So that's just a big. It's just a total loss. Yeah. It is what it is. Loss on the item, loss on my shipping, and loss on any profit, obviously.
But if you're like me and you're selling clothing, like soft goods that are very unlikely to get damaged in shipment, when I send something, if it does go priority, then I'm perfectly comfortable with the insurance that comes along with that, because the only thing I really would have to worry about is if it gets lost.
Yeah.
So like let's say I'm sending $100 sweatshirt and I put it in a padded flat rate mailer, like I'm not really worried about buying additional insurance or anything like that. But otherwise, any insurance I do buy on my first class stuff, because I do insure t-shirts that are over a certain amount, and it's cheaper to just get first class put insurance on it. If it's like a $200 t-shirt.
Yeah, we've talked about that a bunch.
So, oh, how dare you? I never. So rude. So rude.
I sell a lot of breakable stuff. I'm not worried about loss. I know I'm going to get paid if they lose a package as long as it's been scanned. I'm not really worried about that stuff. I am worried about damaged items. And from now on, if it's something that is over $100, I am going to ship it FedEx.
If you want to make sure that you have insurance that will get paid, Pirate Ship has always, we both had to open a couple of claims through Pirate Ship.
Those are international though.
Okay, I use Pirate Ship for insurance on domestic as well.
Have you ever had to file a domestic insurance claim through Pirate Ship? That's the question, because it's still asking you to put it through USPS.
No, I'm not talking about priority. I'm talking about when I get a first class package.
I know what you're saying. Okay, that's
okay. So she asked me a question. I'm answering her.
You're talking about first class.
Question.
You're talking about first class. It's entirely different. Most people are not worried about insurance on first class items. They're talking about breakable items.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that Pirate Ship has shown us I'm answering her question about what I use.
And what you use is irrelevant is what I'm trying to say. There is nothing that anyone is sending first class that you need to be worried about being smashed.
Okay. Or anything priority. If you're sending a $500 item, I'm telling you, go through Pirate Ship and use their insurance, because their insurance, they actually do take care of you. So let's look at our sales highlights for the last week. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say about your numbers, though, about Poshmark. You just looked this last week at what you have done in the last 30 days. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I have sold over $3,000 on Posh in the last 30 days.
Were you surprised when you realized that?
Shocked. I thought it was like 1,500 because I knew it was good. But yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty awesome, because you were like hating on Poshmark for pretty much the entire time. And now you're actually
I still hate Poshmark.
But now you're actually making real money on it.
Yeah, now it's worth the effort.
Exactly. Jen, you've ended this relationship. I hope you feel good about yourself.
I hope you're pleased with yourself.
Anyway, okay, let's look at our sales highlights for the week. And I think we're going to start with a pretty good one. I don't know how you feel about it, but why don't you tell us about this little gem?
Oh, I picked this up for about, I want to say it was like $3 or $4. I was with Britain at an estate sale, and it was piled on a huge pile of stuff that I paid $40 for all of it. I've sold a lot of the stuff already. So I paid about $2 for it. This is an absolute crap condition. As you can see, it is a creepy clown painting on black velvet, but a lot of the velvet has rubbed off. Mm-hmm. But so it's given it this weird looking patina in the background.
I think it was cool.
There is some damage on it. There are more than one couple of tears on it. The wood is dented. It's not a great looking piece, but I felt the need to rescue it. So I paid $2, $3, $4, something like that. It sold for the price that you see there of $97.46. The buyer did pay $29.95 to ship it. I shipped it via FedEx, and it cost me, I think, $25 to ship it. Not too bad.
And it wasn't any kind of I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about this, Teresa, being a shipping nightmare. It's actually not, because it doesn't have any glass.
Yeah, there's no glass. It's just big.
So that actually makes it not bad, although I did have to come up with a box for it. So, all right. First one for me is this, I don't even know, is it Wellesley?
Yes,
I'm going to go ahead and say Wellesley College sweatshirt.
It's a women's college.
Mm-hmm. And so this sweatshirt, this is actually from that East Coast bulk buy that I did, which as of last week, I had about broken even with. I paid $1,100 for 125 pieces. Not necessarily the most exciting things, but there was some good stuff in there. And this sweatshirt, actually, you can see the sleeves are cut off. The cuffs are cut off. So it's kind of like shortened, almost like 3/4 sleeve sweatshirt.
And the sides slit. They cut the sides,
yes, so the sides are cut as well. Or is it? I think I have it on there. I took a picture, yeah. And the sides were cut. Here's the crazy thing, though, guys, is that I think I had sent out offers or something, or maybe somebody offered me. Anyway, there was an offer that was accepted for $80. And then generally, I don't take things down from my other platforms until they actually pay, because there are plenty of times when they just don't pay. And what do you think happens? I took an offer for $80. about 30 hours later, about 24 hours later, they hadn't paid yet, and somebody bought it on Etsy for $89.99. The same cut up, sliced up sweatshirt. They paid $90 for it. Well, I went ahead and refunded the person and canceled the order on Etsy because it's harder to do on eBay, and it wasn't worth it over $10.
But did they pay on eBay?
Yes, they did pay. They did pay. That's the thing. I was gonna cancel it, and then before they paid, I was giving them a full 48 hours before I was even gonna try to do that. And they basically paid like 36 hours after they had accepted the offer. So anyway, so this sweatshirt sold twice. So
in the same 36 hours.
Pretty much. And probably within about the same 24 hours. And also, so with this particular bulk buy, like I said, last week I'd hit the break-even point. I sold another $700 worth of this stuff this week. Like $700 of my sales have been
$700 of the mediocre stuff that you thought was pieces. Meh.
Yeah, all filler, mid-level stuff for the most part. I mean, I've definitely had some good stuff like this, but still, it's like all cut up and everything. Anyway, so yeah, so that was definitely a really, really good buy for me.
And see, I would never pick that up because somebody had cut the sleeves and cut the sides, and I would be like, meh.
Yeah, I still would have picked it up because it was a champion reverse weave. So anyway, go ahead.
So I showed this in a haul video. This actually, it didn't sell for that price there. I paid $12 piecemeal for this. It was priced individually. Every single piece was priced individually down to the two different pillowcases were priced separately at Deseret. So I think I paid about $12 total for everything. I took an offer for $120 on
nice.
It. And I was pretty happy with that. I didn't have it very long.
No, you didn't.
It's a twin size, which I thought is a very small size for the double entendre of the sax symbol thing. So I thought it was just a little bit, it's just weird all around.
It could go on a day bed. Those are usually twin size.
I'm thinking, well, it can't because normal twin size stuff doesn't fit on a day bed. If you ever had a day bed, they're made differently.
I don't know.
Well, the comforter can't fit properly anyway. But it sold. So it sold for $120 plus shipping. I had it listed for maybe 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't
it's kind of, I mean, it's goofy. It's cheesy. It was in good shape though. And there were none others. None had sold in a long time.
Yeah.
So anyway, it sold.
All right.
$120 for a sax symbol, Ziggy, wicked cheesy, twin size set.
Wicked
cheesy.
All right, next one for me is this religious, I mean, I guess I call it a Christian shirt, but I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be that, I would assume, because it's in the beginning. It's from the Bible, from Genesis. Although I guess people who are Jewish, of the Jewish faith, could also buy this shirt. So in the beginning, God, this shirt, I actually had it, and then I had taken pictures of it, and then noticed that it needed a repair. So it got shipped off to Crystal, and she had it for a couple of weeks because Vikki didn't have anything for her last week. And so I held off on listing it, and then she brought it back. And so I listed it, and within an hour I had an offer for $90. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. So I sold it for $90. I think it's a really cool design, and it's got that roll sleeve thing going on. And
you with the Jesus t-shirts, I'll tell you what, the Christians that are super into like the 90s and 80s vintage stuff, that's a pretty predominant market, which I would never have thought.
It is, but it's also really trendy in streetwear, because you got to look at like Kanye West and his whole thing of all of his Jesus stuff and God stuff. No. But he came out like talking a lot in the last year or so about being a Christian and putting out all this merch and stuff that has Jesus on it and Jesus with the crown of thorns. So the Jesus stuff is actually really trendy within the vintage streetwear world. It's not just necessarily people who are like super hardcore Christians, but who knows? Anyway, and this, it definitely had like some wear. You can look at the collar and see kind of like fraying around the collar right there. But yeah, I paid $10 for this at Torgum and sold it for $90. And what's funny is like right after I sold it, I got a message on Etsy asking me what price, if I was willing to negotiate on price. And I had to be like, sorry, I already sold it. So it was immediately snatched up.
It was snatched
up. All right. And next one for you.
This was a nice sale. This was from one of the items that I got in my buyout from the Clothing Vault, Clara and Amanda's vintage store. And this sold, I took an offer for $275. It was on sale. But I mean, they only offered $25 less than what I had it on sale for. So I was happy to take that price, $275 plus shipping. My customer is pretty happy with it. Left some very good feedback already. It's a beautiful coat. This was one of my favorites out of all of the fur coats, and there's a lot of fur coats. Mm-hmm. And I really like this one. I mean, Ole Cassini, it's 70s. It's everything about it is very cool to me.
And how much
it was in beautiful condition. $275.
Oh, $275. Okay, very nice, very nice. I always like it when you get feedback pretty quickly and somebody's really happy with the item that they bought that costs a ton.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
All right, so real quick, we've got Noelle, Farm Girl Scavenger, in the chat giving us a 2020 super chat.
Again, I feel like she's trying to take back 2020 and make
right?
And make those numbers not so horrible.
I know, it's like she's conditioning us. She says, OMG, OMG, hey, finally caught you live. It's been a lifetime, I feel. Merry holidays. Love you, girlies. Noelle, we love you too, for sure. I'm glad to see you in the chat. And thank you so much.
If you follow Noelle, by the way, on Instagram or social media, she has been working her butt off this entire year. I have been watching her go from only having a few hundred listings to having like well over 1,000 listings and selling her butt
That's
off.
awesome.
You can't sell it if it's not listed. And I think that finally caught on to her.
I do think
she's working really hard.
I do think the 1,000 item mark is like when it comes to like thrifted one-off items and stuff like that. I feel like 1,000 pieces in your inventory is kind of, it's a tipping point. At least it was for me, where you really start to see a lot more. You really start
to see that you're making money at it. I think when you have that stuff listed is when you really start to see it being consistent sales and consistent. 1,600 listings. That's even more than I thought. Yeah,
that's awesome.
She's been working her butt off.
That's really cool.
And she has some really cool stuff because of where she lives. She has access to just a tonnage of stuff from estate sales that makes me so jealous, because I wish I could find that stuff here. I used to find it in New England, not here.
Yep.
So it's great.
Thank you.
Thanks, sweetie.
All right. Next up for me is this Virginia Tech. Apparently every week now I'm just going to sell Virginia Tech stuff, although I'm out now, so I guess I can't. But last week I had sold a Virginia Tech sweatshirt to the List Perfectly ladies to go out in one of their mystery boxes that they do giveaways with. And this week I sold this Virginia Tech, another reverse weave sweatshirt. This was one I picked up at Torgum, paid about $15 for.
Say that 10 times fast.
Reverse weave. And so I paid about $15 for it, and I sold it for the amount you see there, $97.99. I've gotten, I probably had this up for a few months. I've gotten a lot of lowball offers, but I actually thought this was a really cool sweatshirt. It's double-sided. I just like that big VT on the back. It's just a cool sweatshirt. And it's got, so you can see it's got fraying. It's got definite wear.
That's the good kind of wear on a Champion sweatshirt.
Yeah, I think the other one was good wear. Like it would look really good on probably on a girl. But anyway, it's this reverse weave. And just real quick, for anybody who's not aware, you can see the reverse weave. You see that side panel, how it's a vertical weave, and then the rest of it is a horizontal weave. That is what reverse weave means. And they're just really high quality, heavy duty.
And sometimes it says it on the tag, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, it always says reverse weave on the Champion ones. There are other brands like JanSport that do reverse weave shirts, but they don't. I think reverse weave is trademarked by Champion. But anyway, sold it for $97.99 and paid $15 for it. So definitely a good flip. What you got? Ooh, I remember you getting this.
This was a purchase for me from Torgum. The one time that I went, that I actually picked this one out. This cost me $20 at Torgum. And I know I showed it in the haul video. I have had a ton of interest on this from the very beginning that it was listed. It was not listed for 2 months, but it sold for, I took an offer for $315
Wow.
the other day on this. I paid $20. I think I could have gotten close to my full price or my sale price had I held off on it. There was honestly, I think I had 20 something watchers on this and lots of offers.
It's a really nice jacket.
And they do tend to sell for quite a bit. They sell around $300 every time. But they're generally in navy blue. You very rarely find them in the red. So I thought the red was what was really good about it. It's like this big, long stadium jacket. Anyway, it sold for, $320 and they paid shipping. Shipping cost me a little bit more than that. I think the shipping cost me like $15 because it went to Massachusetts.
Yeah, it was a huge jacket. It's like 100%
and
wool,
it just,
heavy.
it went into like a 16 by 12 by 8 box. There was no putting this into a padded mailer or, for that price. So
Allison's just in the chat to drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm. Shut up, Allison. This is why you're off the favorite Canadian list for the week.
All right. Next up, I have my Earnest P. Worrell T-shirt. Know what I mean, Vern? I've had this for a number of months, but I had a price kind of high because it's just an awesome shirt. And I got this from that big buy that I did. I did a few buys off a guy who had a bunch of movie T-shirts and television T-shirts, and this was one of them. So I paid $20 for this. I actually had sent an offer out on this one and for $110, and somebody accepted it. So I paid $20 for it and got $110 for it. But
know what I mean, Vern?
I like the show. I like the movies. Ernest Goes to Camp was one of my favorites. So Ernest Scared Stupid, another good one. Lots of good Ernest movies. But anyway, just a really cool shirt. I think it's an awesome graphic and it was in great condition. So very, very, very cool. All right.
Noelle, go ahead and send me as many pics as you can on that and I'll get to it as soon as I can.
For sure.
Give you some tips.
All right. Next up, another red shirt for you. Red thing for you.
Yeah, another red thing. Teresa, you must be liking this. I think I paid... I honestly don't remember. I think I paid maybe $4 or $5 for this. This is not from Torgum. I know I got this at a thrift store. I just don't remember how much I paid for it, but it was not much, $4 or $5 tops. And this sold on Etsy.
Actually, I think this might be one that I got from yesterday's fits and gave to you.
It's possible.
Like, to when I picked up some stuff to.
Which probably, again, at maximum is $10.
Yep.
Maximum $10, but I think it's from a thrift store. I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I don't remember where everything is.
We get so much stuff.
I used to remember everything. So yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's see what you sold it for. Use flippertools.com. Oops, that does not work. Okay, hold on. I copied it. I promise I did.
Why is that Lifesavers? What are you looking at?
I have no idea. What did I do? You guys?
That's not my T-shirt.
Here we go. Hold on. I messed up. I screwed it up.
You did.
Copy that. Paste that. There we go. All right. What?
$99.95 for a flippin' T-shirt. It's not just Katy that can get good prices on T-shirts. But yeah, it sold for $99.95. I had an offer on it on eBay like 3 months ago, and I sold it for $45 on eBay, and the buyer never paid for it.
That makes up for all the times, though, when you take a low offer, they pay for it, you forget to take it off of Etsy, and then 2 months later, somebody buys pays like 3 times as much for it, and you're full of regret because you don't actually have it anymore.
Yep.
So it evens out.
It evens out. But yeah, I was like, I'm glad that person didn't pay for it. And I remember thinking I couldn't find this. I had actually taken it down off of all the platforms except Etsy when it sold. So when it sold on eBay, for some reason, I usually don't do that like Katy until it's paid for I don't know why. It wasn't on eBay. So I went to go end it on eBay after it sold on Etsy. And I was freaking out because I couldn't find it. So it never relisted when they didn't pay, when one of the glitches that's been happening with eBay for a while. And I'm grateful that was what it was, because I actually found it and I thought I was going to have to cancel it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty happy.
All right. Next up for me is this Turquoise.
Really?
Turquoise.
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 Are you French now?
Yeah, I am. Oui, monsieur. I don't know.
Bonjour.
Mademoiselle.
Bonjour. What does that even mean? That's not even a word. That's not a French word. You just made that word up.
Parlez-vous français? Jacques Cousteau? All right. Turquoise Circuit Finals. This is a rodeo T-shirt from Arizona, 1994, and I got this at Torgum, so I paid $10 for it. You can see it is double-sided, or as the kids say, this is a mullet, little on the front, and then a big graphic, a big hit on the back. And I actually didn't have this listed for very long, maybe a week, and it sold for. Am I on Etsy right now? Let's see if I can do it right this time, guys. Let's see if I can do it right this time instead of being a loser. All right. And it actually was not on sale this time. So it did sell for $69.99. So I paid $10 for it, sold it for $69.99. Some dude in Texas really wanted this shirt bad, and he paid $70 for it. But yeah, anything vintage and rodeo.
It's a good combo.
With a good graphic, like it's always going to sell. Maybe not always for $70. But it's a good bet. If you can get a T-shirt for anywhere from $1 up to $10, I would pick it up if it's a rodeo T-shirt, because you're always going to be able to sell it really well. It's just the way it is. All right, what you got?
So another Gemmy or Jemmy, animated snowman. Now the ones that sing like Heat Miser and Frosty the Snowman definitely get more money generally. But this one actually was singing Shake Your Groove Thing. Which is not as desirable, but he wiggles his butt, his cheeks light up red, and he shakes his butt and his hips, and he works. So nothing wrong with him. Worked well. I'm not even entirely sure he's vintage, but he's definitely on the cusp. So I threw him on Etsy anyway, and I'm glad I did, because he sold on Etsy just day before yesterday, actually.
He sold for
$99.95.
What?
I paid about $5 for him. I picked him up the last trip that we made to Arizona. I'm pretty sure I picked him up in Tucson.
Yep.
So he sold pretty quickly.
Very good. All right. Next up for me is this Boston University School of Medicine sweatshirt. Now, I sell a lot of university stuff, T-shirts, sweatshirts, and stuff like that. But I always like it when it's like it's a really specific college, like, really specific area of study. And like the School of Medicine or veterinary medicine or anything like that.
So like my CCRI, nursing school sweatshirt, would you pick that up somewhere?
Probably, yeah. If I think that
mine's a champion.
Yeah, probably. Then I probably would. But it just, it just means that there's going to be somebody out there who is more willing to pay up for it, because it's not just a Boston University sweatshirt. It's specifically School of Medicine. And so this one, I'm pretty sure I got this at Torgum for $15. I either got it at Torgum or I got it in that East Coast buy, in which case I would have paid $8 for it. But I think it's more likely I got it at Torgum and paid $15 for it. It's just a really cool 80s sweatshirt. And let's see what I sold it for. And again, it was not on sale, so it sold for $99.99. So I either paid $8 or $15 for it, and I sold it. I flipped it for $100. So definitely, and it went to Massachusetts. So definitely a nice little flippity flip. But yeah, I like picking up the stuff when it's a really specific school and major and all that stuff. All right, next up for you.
These were a Torgum pickup, and I did not know that Vocal was a brand by Nelly. I can thank Crystal for that. So Crystal must have done that bit of research when she was doing this listing. I just knew that they were pretty cool 90s, very baggy hip hop jeans that had this weird paint color treatment thing on them. So I bought them because of that, not because of that's a brand by Nelly. I didn't even know that there was a brand by Nelly until she looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I paid $15 for these, which was a little bit high. They were charging a lot for jeans for some reason that day that I went, and I paid $15, and I was a little disappointed when I came home because I was like, oh, 15 is a little too much. I didn't think they were going to sell for much.
Mm-hmm.
But I put them on Etsy.
And what happened?
And
Let's see.
They sold for $89.95 on Etsy.
Nice. Very cool.
And I believe actually, and these went to Sweden. So I made a little bit of money on the jeans too.
Very cool.
Kara said the jeans looked like they were in a mustard fight.
They do.
Yeah, it's kind of like that baby poop brown color. Not quite yellow. It's a yellowy brown. Yeah.
Gross. All right. Next up is this awesome red dwarf t-shirt. I got this at Torgum. It's worn and faded. You can see a nice little hole right there. But I picked it up because I knew that there was like some sort of show or something that called Red Dwarf, but I wasn't sure that that's what it was from, because there's also Red Dwarf planets and stuff like that. So, and then when I looked it up, I think I showed it to you guys and you were like, yes, it is from the TV show. It was a British sci-fi sitcom from the 80s and 90s. And that's like the little saying on their show, Smeg Off. And so picked this up, paid $10 for it, listed it high, even though there were a couple of other ones. There was like one other one that was the same that didn't have any issues. So, it's one of those things where it's like, I have no idea what it's actually going to end up selling for, but I listed it high anyway because I thought it was a really cool shirt, good design, even with the hole right in the front of it and all the wear. Because guess what, guys, as I say over and over and over again, it really doesn't matter. There's some people that are not going to want that, and there's other people who it's going to enhance the shirt for them. So, and I sold it for, this one was not on sale either. So I sold it for the price you see there, $149.99. So I paid $10 for it and sold it for $150.
That's a lot for a t-shirt with a hole in it.
Yep. That's why I say don't let it hold you back. Don't let it keep you from pricing something high. Good little flip. Good little flipper.
And hey, Greg.
What's up, Greg? What's going on, Greg? All right, next one for you. Oh, Bambi.
This one sold on Macari, and you can see what it sold for. I showed these sheets. I had picked these up in Tucson as well. I think I paid $5 to $8 for the set of sheets here. It's just the flat sheet and the fitted sheet. Sold on Macari for $97.
That's awesome. Why is Bambi like a girl's name when Bambi was a boy?
I don't know, honey.
Don't you think that's kind of weird? Can't you tell me? Somebody out there, look it up, figure it out, do some research, and get back to me so I don't have to do it myself. But yeah, Bambi was a boy. But when you think of Bambi, you think of like, I don't know, Bambi, who is a member of the country club, Bambi and Chad or something like that. I don't know.
Buffy and
Chad. Or Buffy and Bambi are like best friends and they go get manicures together. I don't know. Anyway, still weird because Bambi was a boy. All right, next one for me, guys, is this. This is probably my favorite sale that I had this week. Not just because of how much it sold for, but this is a Jane Goodall Institute t-shirt. I found this at Torgum, and I was super, super excited about it because it was signed by Jane Goodall, and you can see her signature right there. And do I have a certificate of authentication? No, I do not. But guess what?
Certificate of authenticity.
Authenticity, whatever. Making up words here. No, I do not. But guess what? Pretty sure there's not some sort of underground black market for fake Jane Goodall signatures. So anyway, just a really cool t-shirt. I was excited about it. And it's true that Deb was there at Torgum and just down the row from me when I found this, and
was jealous.
She almost punched me. But she did find some stuff that I was super jealous of.
I think she could take you in a fight.
She probably could. I'm pretty sure she could. Anyway, let's see what I sold it for, guys. Let's see. This one actually was on sale, so I sold it for $180. It was 10% off. So I sold this for $180, paid $10 for it, sold it for $180. This person actually must be a gift or something, because they actually paid $40 for express shipping. And let me tell you, it costs like $24 for me. Well, I got insurance on it too. So between insurance and the thing, it probably cost me about $26 to ship this to them. But I also went, instead of shipping it tomorrow, which is when I needed to ship it, according to my listing, I did actually pack it up, take it myself to the post office yesterday, stood in line on a Saturday when I never ship on Saturdays. I stood in line to make sure it got scanned and to get it out the door So I think I earned every extra penny of that shipping. Anyway, just a really good flip and such a cool shirt for sure. And
Very cool.
now let's go to your big sale.
So this was my big sale on Poshmark this week. And I highlight this for a couple of reasons. I picked this up in a big bulk purchase a couple of months ago and I showed it in a haul. I bought a Louis Vuitton bag, and I bought this Gucci duffel bag, and I bought 15 dresses. Now the dress, I paid $700 for all of those things. The dresses, I technically feel like I paid around $10 a piece for, because I wouldn't have paid more than that. So if I take that 150 away, then I've got $550 left between this bag and the other bag that I spent. The other bag sold for $495 very quickly. This one took a little bit longer to sell. It sold for $600. So I've got about $250 to $275 invested into this bag. So it's not like I paid $2 and sold it for $600. So I did pay up for it, but I knew I was going to get the money back. I probably could have gotten closer to $800 if I held out, but I was like, meh. And to be honest with you, it did have some authenticity cards with it, but it was a sketchy authenticity place. And 99% of me was positive that it was
legit,
that it wasn't counterfeit. But there's always that very small percentage that is unsure. What I wanted to touch on this about was really nice. So I listed it as authentic again, because I was 99% sure the other item was, and I can generally tell with certain items whether they're real or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I've sold this line before, so I do kind of know this Gucci line. But that one little percentage was a little bit nervous. So one of the nice things about Poshmark is if you're selling a designer item and it's over $500, they offer free authenticity for the buyer, not for the seller, but for the buyer, which means that the buyer purchased this item. Your item then gets shipped. They send you a label. You ship it to Poshmark headquarters. They authenticate the item, and then they ship it to your buyer. So you're 100% protected as a seller and as a buyer for designer items.
That's really cool.
That doesn't happen on a lot of platforms. So I was really happy for that. What was nice about it is even in the middle of all these delays and this COVID crap, it got to Poshmark headquarters, which happens to be in California. So we're pretty close, but it got there in 48 hours. And then they authenticated it. They checked it in, they authenticated it, and sent it back out within 2 hours to my buyer. 2 hours.
Awesome.
They scan it as sent in, as accepted, that received, and then they say that they're going to authenticate it. 2 hours later, it was authenticated. They sent me a couple of notes on it, and then they shipped it back out. So that is some really, really good customer service. Again, not a Poshmark fan, but I do like that.
Yeah.
And I do like making the money on it.
And they do take a big chunk.
They do. They take 20%, but you're not paying for store fees.
Right.
You're not paying for, promoted listing fees. You're not paying for any of the shit you pay for.
But you doubled your money basically on this particular piece, and you don't have to worry about it getting there and then trying to say it's not authentic because you got it authenticated.
Exactly. So the buyer really cannot, once the buyer receives this, they don't do returns. You're not allowed to do a return on Poshmark unless it's not as described. Well, they've already authenticated it, so it is just as described.
Right.
They noted there were a couple of condition issues on it, which I noted in my description. So I'm perfectly covered.
Yep.
And I know that once the buyer gets this, 3 days later, I'm going to have my money.
Nice. Very, very cool. Good sale. And that's kind of one of those areas where it's like you doubled your money, so you had to invest quite a bit. But when you're dealing with stuff that you know the value of it and what you can sell it for, it still is a very smart buy. Not everything is about paying $10 and selling it for $100. Sometimes it makes sense to put some capital into something.
And I realize not everybody has that option to put that kind of money up front and sit on it, but I did know that this was going to sell.
Yep.
And regardless of even if this had been fake, I would not have lost money on my purchase because of my sales from the other items that I purchased from this woman. But I was 90% sure in her dark house with a quick glance that it was real.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. The last one for me is this just a Grailed purchase. I didn't sell anything on Mercari this week. I did okay on Grailed, did $420 on Grailed altogether. But this is one of the pieces that I sold, this Cliff Angle sweater. It's 49ers Cliff Angle sweater. I sold it for $103. I think I paid $20 for this. And it's funny because a couple weeks ago, I sold a Dallas Cowboys Cliff Angle sweater on eBay for like $120. And so just, once again, I always pick up these Cliff Angle sweaters. They don't sell super fast. And but one of the things is,
and some people price them
they
really
price them
stupid
really low, which I get it, because listen, I have them for months before they sell, and I'm okay with that. So I get it. For people who are selling them for lower prices, then maybe they just want to flip them quick, and that's all it is. But you know, this is one of those things that you can easily buy on eBay for $30, and if you're willing to wait a little while, I always sell them for minimum $100, and they're easy to pick up.
And there was your minimum. 103.
Yep, exactly. I wanted to make some money. All right. So
I think that's it.
What's up?
It's all our sales
highlights over
of the week.
Highlights of the week. Let me move this over here. Yeah. All our fun stuff. All right. So you want to get into your haul?
The haul?
Yeah.
The haul.
What are you showing us? Anybody who watched the video, which I do have linked down below, and of course it's on our channel, you could see the breadth of what she actually picked up.
The breadth? Wow, that was some big words right there.
Thanks, Grandma. Anyway, you can see like how ridiculously, overwhelmingly full our front living room is right now, with dolls and all kinds of stuff. But
Corey has been here helping unpack, as she helped it unpack that first day.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also came by to drop off cookies for me yesterday, because she's my favorite Corey. I got cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So she has seen this living room. Other than that, there will be nobody allowed in our house for months at this point, because we look like freaky hoarders. It's awful. It's awful.
We generally, you know, whatever. Everybody has their own level of tolerance, and everybody has limitations as far as like storage and how much space they actually have. So believe me, we're in no way trying to poo-poo or pass judgment on anybody who has stuff in their house. At all. But the thing is, we have a really big house. We each have our own office. We have 2 spare rooms, one of which does have my inventory in it now, some of my inventory. And then we have a 2-car garage that has has all of your inventory and a little bit of mine. And so generally we try to keep our inventory out of the rest of the house. And except for when you're working on processing stuff, it'll be in the front room.
Mm-hmm.
But usually it's not there for more than a couple of days.
Yeah.
So this is like a unique situation.
This is really hard for me to be living with this much clutter in the house. I will say, I don't have OCD, but I don't like clutter. Yeah. It makes me anxious.
Yeah. There's bets being placed about you sourcing. She's not, I will say this is the thing. She's not going to source, but she seems to regularly have opportunities appear in front of her. And when it's a good buy, she has a hard time saying no. So
I may not have to leave.
Really,
I may not leave the house or actively try to source. But if somebody says, I have a whole bunch of stuff to send to you, it's not like I'm going to say, no, don't send it.
Yeah, so I don't know how that fits into your bedding, Greg, but
cool casual vibe. They should be locked in the garage with a deadbolt, but there are literally hundreds of dolls. They would not fit in our garage. Too many. Our 2-car garage is floor to ceiling shelving and racks full of inventory that is listed. We do not keep unlisted inventory or unlisted anything in the garage as it is. So it's
all listed.
Yeah, I'm close to getting an additional storage unit just to get it out of the house while I process it right now, because it's driving me crazy already. But anyway, all right. Yes, Allison, you may want to tune out now. I am going to show some dolls, because that's what I've bought. I have a bazillion, but I did start to go through some of them. So I'm going to talk about a couple of them, the ones that I've already identified and pricing and things like that. So let's see.
Can I ask you really quick? Because you're able to like look at a bunch of dolls, and a lot of times you know stuff already, or at least you know where to start. Is this all just from reselling, or like how did you?
It's all just from reselling. So when I lived in New England, I used to go to auctions a lot, and I used to in New England. I've talked about it before. There's a plethora of vintage and antique items, and every single thing that I know about vintage or antique is self-taught. It was very hard to learn things on the internet when I first started selling, because Google wasn't a thing. There were not a lot of websites, so I used to have dozens of reference books. And I think a lot of people that sell or know antiques understand that that's where you would learn. So when I was an early flipper or reseller, I was not a thrifter. because I didn't go to thrift stores. That's how I learned everything. And I had dozens and dozens of research books on dolls. And I still have a few of them, I think, put away, but I don't use them anymore because most of the information is now replicated online. So when you do tons of research and you're spending 2 to 3 hours to research one item or more, through various things, it seeps in. So you start to remember it. So I know an awful lot about dolls just by looking at them on the surface. I can tell you what decade a doll is from. I can tell you how it's made. I can tell you very frequently what doll it is or where it's from. But it takes me, the unmarked dolls, I have to do some research on. And a lot of these dolls I'm going to have to do a lot of research on.
Okay, so what do you got here?
So this one is a 1950s Sweet Sue doll. And she has, what they call rooted hair. And by that, I'm just going to show you, it's the kind of hair that you can see is like stuck into the head. And it's got little dots in the head. So she's a hard plastic doll. She's what's called a walker doll. And that means that she's jointed. And when she walks, her head moves side to side.
That's not creepy at all.
So
That's totally normal.
You move her legs and her head's moved. So she's a jointed walker doll. And she's a Sweet Sue doll from the 1950s. Now, these type of dolls, and she's hard plastic. So this type of doll will sell for she's in her original outfit and she's in good shape. Her hair's kind of a mess, but she'll sell for about $100 or so the way she is. So as I said, I paid $210 plus overall I paid $700 and change for everything you saw in that video. One doll is going to sell for $100.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's see. This is another type of doll. This is unmarked, but this is a doll that is a composition doll. So these are not my tags on here, by the way. So this is a composition bride doll.
What's
and composition is, it's made out of plaster and wood. And it's generally pre-1940s. So this doll is like 1930s-ish. And she's what's called a boudoir doll. People would buy these. They sit, and it would sit on the bed. And they'd go it'd sit near the pillows on the bed. And so she's a bride boudoir doll. And she's actually in really good shape. Composition is kind that cracks a little bit. If you ever see it out and about and it has cracks, that's really common. It cracks and it flakes. So to find it without any damage on the face is actually really good. So this one I'll probably sell for almost $200.
That's crazy. So now you're at about close to half of what you spent on 2 dolls.
I saw someone in the chat mention this doll. This is a 1950s Chatty Cathy doll. Chatty Cathy is, in my opinion, one of the ugliest dolls I've ever seen.
Does it look like her?
It's got like a weird narrow face. It's got a plastic face. It's vinyl and a hard plastic body. And for whatever reason, they are hugely collectible, especially if they're in their original clothing, like this is in her original clothing. And this is not a very common dress. So Chatty Cathy is the one that it has a pull on the back of the neck. And it would talk. Now, most of them don't work anymore. Like they do this. It just doesn't work. So this particular doll, she will sell for probably around $100, even not working, because of her outfit. People repair them. There are companies that repair them. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to send it there, but collectors will have it repaired. And she's in actually really good cosmetic shape, with the exception of the fact that she doesn't work. Now, there are lots of different models of the Chatty Cathy doll, and you can tell based on the markings. And I'm sorry if I'm boring anybody, but if anybody wants to understand how this works, depends on how the voice box is. And this voice box happens to be cloth covered. And the different type of markings that are found on the neck and the back are going to identify what year it's from. This is actually a type 2 doll, which means that she was the second run. And on the back, the brand says patent pending, which gives you another idea too. Hey, so thanks, Greg. So if I wanted to pay to fix it, I would probably, the increase in price is probably what it would cost me to have it fixed. So for me, I'm happy to just sell it as is and have the new buyer invest in that, because it's not going to be me.
Yeah, maybe if there was someone local.
I don't care enough to
then
do
you could
that.
get the Pee Wee Herman one fixed.
Yeah. So this is another cutie. This is a hard plastic doll.
Did you say this is another cutie?
Yes, this one's cute.
No. Mm-mm.
I think she's cute.
I'm just going to try to do the faces.
This one's cute. So she's, this one is one of the ones that's harder to identify because it's an unmarked doll. And there are so many dolls from the 50s that are very similar and that are unmarked. So they're really hard to do research on. But this one is in her original dress. And it's made by, it's 1950s. It's made by a company called Artisan. And she's what's called the Raving Beauty doll, or the Miss Gadabout. So she's actually also in pretty decent shape. Her wig is lifting a little bit over here, and her curls have gotten a little bit messy and matted. But in relation to, you know, most dolls from that era, she's actually in very, very good shape. And she will sell for probably in the $100 range as well.
That's making her. I'm trying to make her face.
Just stop. Oh, I have plenty of the creepy cracked up ones too, for sure, Leah. This is another doll that I think is absolutely hideous, but sells very, very well. So this is a doll made by a company called Ideal. Ideal is a pretty popular toy and doll company. This one is called Thumbelina. And
do I look like it?
This is why, because they would take the thumb and you could put the thumb in the mouth. But it's always got this really bad haircut. That's how it was made. And what it does have on the back is it usually has something that you twist on the back, and it would turn the head. It would do this with the heads would like go like that.
That's up.
Yeah, it's really weird. So here's the thing. The thing about these type of dolls, as ugly as this looks, if this worked, I would sell it for $150. Because it doesn't work, it's still probably a $40 to $50 doll. Really weird.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those, like, if you see this face, pick it up. The dolls are worth it. See this face? Do you want me to keep going? Because I'm not going to.
No, keep going. I'm entertaining the people that don't necessarily care about dolls. Some people, there's a lot of people who are very into it, and for everyone else, they look at my face.
I'm only going to do 2 more for now because you're going to get more over the next few weeks. This is another doll that's harder to find, as far as you have to know where to look for. She's in her original dress, but the dress is not in great shape. But this is a 1950s. This is another composition doll. And this is made by a company called Aranbee, Aranbee. And she's a Nancy doll. So the Nancy dolls would have different colored wigs, but the faces are very similar.
Like this.
Yeah. 4 teeth, open mouth, sleep eyes, which means eyes close when you put your head down. And she's got this yellow dress, which was probably quite nice when it was in good shape. And now it's in crap condition. But even still, she's probably a $150 doll or so. I'm going to put her right up around crazy. 70. I'm going to put her on auction. And I'll probably, a lot of these dolls I'm going to auction because there are a few that are pretty rare. So I'm going to auction her at about $74, $75. I'll start her. And I think she'll sell for about $100, $150. It depends.
You don't get people paying for t-shirts. I don't get dolls.
I get people paying for t-shirts.
I'm just saying.
All right. Now this one's I brought purely for you to show you how hideous this one is, because this one's pretty freaking weird. And this is a really ugly doll. So this doll is a doll that someone created a whole thing around. They put a wig on it.
Oh, dear Lord.
Look at the face on that.
Has somebody been feeding her apple juice in the bottle? Don't they know you're not supposed to do that? Those teeth.
Yeah. So this doll, they put a wig on. They put her and swaddled her like a papoose in like this burlap sack thing. It's like
just an insult.
It's like someone took it to school and turned it into a project. It's a papoose project. So anyway.
Ugh.
The reality is the doll itself is just a vinyl rubber head doll, which is even hideous by himself. This is made by Ideal as well. And
is this what it looks like?
Yeah, he's got an ugly face.
I don't think I can make a face ugly enough.
It's made by Ideal and does not need to have this weird wig on it, but I'm gonna have to sell it with it because someone went into all this effort to create this
awful
weird outfit for it. But it's the Ideal Blessed Event doll. or the Kiss Me doll, because nothing says kiss me like that face.
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, and it's got it doesn't have teeth. It has a tongue. It looks like a Recessa Annie doll. Have you ever done the there's the wig. Yeah. Have you ever done like the resuscitating dolls? It's got a weird face.
I got another 2020 super chat from Noelle. She's on a roll today, saying just because Katy's worth it and I so needed her comedy hour. Love you too, Vikki, but Katy is just rich. Rich. Like that?
No.
I'll buy you a taco.
Bite me. I don't want a taco.
Thanks, so what do you want? You want a cookie? You want a cookie?
Is that like Polly want a cracker?
No, that's like,
okay. I'm done with the doll segment now. You can be done.
Everybody liked it. And I don't know if you guys heard, Allison, I don't know if you heard, but she said she has weeks of doll sharing. So don't you worry. You get to come back next week, Allison. Allison says that she's rocking in the corner and it's difficult to chat. She's
sorry about that, scared. Allison. I'm sorry you're traumatized.
Terrible. Terrible. Anyway. All right. I got a huge stack. I'm not going to show all of it. But I went to yesterday's fits again. Like I said last week, Jesse has kind of switched up how he's doing his sourcing because he hasn't had as many people bringing stuff in to sell in the store, whether it's because of COVID, whether it's because everybody's selling stuff on their own now. He's got a couple of guys who have been out picking for him and sending stuff back. And let me tell you, they're sending good stuff. And so I went in again this week after having been there last week, and geez, it was like I came home with another 3 garbage bags filled with stuff. It was so good. And he's changed up how he has the store. And now he's got like a $5 rack, a $10 rack, a $20 rack. Super cool. But first, before I get into it, our favorite Kimothy, apparently she's ready to do some battle. She's got the 2021. She's starting off 2021 early. Okay. But she says she concurs with Noelle and says it was so entertaining. See, I'm like raking in the dough with my doll impersonations. Okay. So we're just going to keep this rolling. Anyway, thank you, Kimothy, as I named you by accident and then pretended like I did it on purpose. Like I'm real funny. But it's going to stick and you're going to keep it. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at some of these things that I picked up. Just so much really cool stuff. What are you doing over there?
I'm going to scroll back on the chat that I missed while I was talking about the dolls while you're talking
about
your
I took
t-shirts.
away your phone and now you're going to like go back and look at old chat instead of paying attention to what
I'm sorry. Are you really going to question that after you just made fun of every single thing I just sold and made faces the whole time? I suggest you shut your hole now.
You want this? So first thing I have is this University of Hawaii sweatshirt. So I think they're called the Hawaiian Warriors now, University of Hawaii Warriors. But they used to be the rainbows. And so I always like when I find something with the rainbows on it. This stuff always sells and I don't find very much of it. I'm going to guess because they probably don't sell a lot of University of Hawaii stuff on the mainland. So you just don't come across it as often. So when I do, I always pick it up. And I think I paid like $20 for this. Just a really cool tie-dye sweatshirt in good condition. Awesome graphic. I love it. I love the mascot, the rainbows. I think it's a great mascot if you ask me. Anyway, I can't see what anybody else is saying now. All right. I also got a few Oregon. Yeah, I'm from Oregon. I am an Oregon State alum, not University of Oregon. So I got to tell you, and I played rugby for Oregon State University. So the Ducks were one of our big rivals.
Yeah. See, Kimothy says I should make faces at all of your t-shirts now.
I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that. It's the apathy. I can't handle you guys. It's the apathy. Mockery, totally fine. At least you're engaged in hatred. So anyway, so I still have feelings of a little bit of animosity towards University of Oregon, but let's face it, they're more popular as far as a school and a brand in sports. So the stuff that tends to sell better than the Beavers. But this is just a cool, they have like a special arrangement with Disney where they are able to use Donald Duck in a lot of their stuff. And or at least their old stuff, and it's just on an old Artex tag. It's a relatively small sweatshirt, but it's really cute and great colors and good condition. I got that one. These ones I paid $10 each for.
Yep, Sally. I know I was including when I said I paid $210 for all of the estate sale stuff. $200 was from the prior box. $300 went to you guys, and I paid Corey to help me that day too.
Yeah.
So but yes, the actual items from the estate sale itself were $210. So yeah.
And then here's another Oregon one.
I can do a duck face.
Yeah,
Jen
do it.
says.
Yeah. Although there's no duck on this one now, but I guess it does say Joe Duck. Is that your duck face?
It's my duck face. I don't have enough Botox lip injections to do.
Anyways, this is a really cool Peanuts, Snoopy, and Woodstock. Their sweatshirt, football sweatshirt for Oregon. Again, Artex. Oregon's University of Oregon is actually where my parents met. Believe it or not. My dad, he went to University of Oregon and Oregon State first, and then University of Oregon. My parents met there, and my sister was actually born in Eugene, I believe, which is where the school is. All right. This is a cool long sleeve. This is actually a skiing shirt, T-shirt. It's a Save Our Planet and Playground. But if you look real close, there's a little guy skiing through it. But I actually think it's a monkey. It's not a monkey.
It looks like a monkey.
You're so rude. That's not a monkey. It's skiing. Anyway, and you can see their little track from the skis.
A slalom.
And anyway, just cool graphic. Any of the Save Our Planet stuff, even if it wasn't a ski thing, this kind of shirt would do well. I'll definitely be able to sell it for minimum $50. This is on an old signal tag right there. It's an 80s shirt. You just go. All right.
I can't win, guys. I can't win. If there's apathy, I have a problem. If I express interest, there's a problem.
I didn't have a problem with that. I just said, did you go? That was not a judgment upon my part. It was me recognizing your. Anyway, Apollo 13. Remember the movie? This is from what, 1995. Says 13th minute of the 13th hour of the 13th mission. Great graphic there on the front, and then on the back it says failure is not an option.
Except they failed.
You're so rude.
Spoiler alert from the vintage movie.
Spoiler alert from a 25-year-old movie.
They failed.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it by now, it's your own problem, okay? But yeah, Vikki just ruined it for you. Hashtag Vikki ruins everything. Okay. This is on a Fruit of the Loom tag. Let's see if it can get that in focus. Doesn't really matter, but made in the US, single stitch, double-sided. Really cool. I'll probably try. I mean, I haven't looked up comps on any of this stuff. So this one I think I paid like $35 for. But I'll probably sell it for like $100. But again, I'll probably price it super high, and we'll see.
And we'll see.
This one, now this shirt, I believe I paid $100 for.
What?
I paid $100 for this shirt. You ready?
You
ready? You got a song ready?
I do.
You do have a song ready? Now, remember what we talked about.
I have to vocalize it loudly.
You have to believe in yourself. Sing it with conviction. Okay? You ready?
All right.
Okay. What do we got here?
Smack it up, flip it, rub it down.
Oh, see? Smack it up, flip it, rub it down.
That girl is poison.
Anyway, this says, shit is mental, yo. Belle Biv DeVoe. I like it's like a graffiti spray paint kind of thing. But this is a legit shirt. It's pretty faded. But you can see the copyright info right there. This is from 1990. And then the back of it.
100 doll hairs you spent.
I spent 100 doll hairs. BBD Live. It's from a tour. And let me show you the tag. This is an old Anvil tag from 1990. And again, I paid $100 for this. I will probably put it up and try to sell it for $250 minimum.
I would like to know. So where's my Jacob, Jen, and Sandra in the chat with
Jacob was here at the very beginning.
with the lyrics.
I know, right?
I see Jen, but Jen is a little bit shy on her own. She needs some egging on in the chat to come up with the lyrics.
Jacob was like at the very beginning of the show. He was in the chat. So
he bounced when I started showing dolls.
He abandoned us, and now we've got some awesome stuff to show that we need his commentary on. Anyway, just a really cool shirt. Yes, I paid $100 for this one. But again, for me and with what I sell, I like to have those key pieces that elevate my store. Stores. Here we go. This one I think I paid like.
There he is. Never trust a big butt with a smile. Hey, now I feel attacked. I feel personally attacked with that phrase.
Anyway, this one I think I paid $75 maybe for this one. Maybe $60. I don't remember exactly. 9 Inch Nails. This is 9 Inch Nails from 19.
I'm not going to sing the 9 Inch Nails song that I always want to sing because that's
inappropriate.
It is. It's inappropriate.
This is from 1997.
Everyone's introduction to BDSM in the 90s was that song.
You could sing, isn't Hurt a 9 Inch Nails song?
Yeah, it's not as good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You ever seen Kermit do the Hurt song?
Yes.
It's really good. Anyway, this is from 1997. 9 Inch Nails, A Perfect Drug, Halo 11 thingamajiggy. 9 Inch Nails. This is on like a Lee tag, which is kind of interesting. It is not single stitch, it's double stitch, but this is definitely from 1997. Again, I think I might have paid like $75 for this. But I haven't looked this up or anything, but it is 9 Inch Nails. I will try and sell it for minimum $150 to $200. So again, that's another piece that's kind of more about elevating my store and having something good. I need to get back going on
the flea.
Instagram, not necessarily the flea, but at the very least Instagram. And this is kind of one of those pieces that's going to be good for a post. And then let me show you
Johnny Cash's version of that song, of that 9 Inch Nails song is really good too.
But let me tell you,
I will say that is good.
Go look up the Kermit one because it's awesome. Couple more.
Kermit the Frog here.
So I love this one because it just says river, but it's really cool. The graphic in the letters, and you can see like the rapids in the front there, and it's got a bear. This is the kind of stuff that I easily sell for $50 that I think gets overlooked by other people because it's not something awesome like a Belle DeVoe shirt or 9 Inch Nails. This is on a Jim Morris environmental t-shirt. I can't really see the screen there. Let's see if I can. There we go. But yeah, this one I paid $10 for, and I will sell it for $50. And then last one I'll show before I pop back over to you. This one this is from 1986. I haven't done any research into this. This is kind of an interesting t-shirt. It's a military, like jet defense stuff kind of t-shirt. It says the new arms deal, buy today, deliver tomorrow. Strategic Air Command, Next Day Air. This is pretty close to a dead stock t-shirt. It's in really good condition. It's crispy. 1986 American Warbird. This is the U.S. Air Force B-52, number 131. I don't know. I do pretty well with these military type t-shirts. And this is probably one of the older ones I've picked up. I get a lot of them from like the 90s and like especially from Desert Storm. But I'll probably try to sell this for like $70. But I bought it for $10. So
nice.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so now I'm going to do clothing, and most of what I have here is some really old stuff that I'd picked up at this estate sale. So I do have some people in the chat that will appreciate it. What the thing is that a lot of it has a lot of damage, and that's okay. I'm selling it to a collector that will probably either repair it or use it to create something in this type of pattern. They call them they'll cut them up and use it for the pattern. So this is like a 1920s dress. This is silk, and it has a drop waist, and it's trashed. It really is trashed. It has beautiful silk, beautiful lace details, but it is from the 1920s, and it is in really rough condition. So the silk is really, really torn, and so is the lace on the bottom. So I really don't know what I'm going to sell this for, but probably at least around $50.
That's pretty crazy.
Because someone will buy it for what it is. Like they may even be older than the 20s, but because there's some elastic in it. Oh, actually, I thought there was elastic in it. It's not elastic. It's just pleating. So this might actually be turn of the century. Actually, I'm taking back the 20s.
Crazy. What size is it? Hip flipping mama wants to know.
What size is it? Oh, I have no idea, honey. Definitely small. Everything in these days was really small.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely would be a modern day small, but it has a lot of holes in it. It has some tears. I'm going to say that this is definitely turn of the century at this point. Now that it's just ruching in the sides. I thought it was elastic, which was what led me to believe it was earlier.
Yeah.
So Tommy asked, how do you repair something like that? I don't. I can't sew a button on, but it probably could not be repaired to be worn.
Somebody will use it to recreate it.
They'll use it to recreate it. Yeah. The other thing that I found in here, this was actually already researched for me because the woman that this estate sale came from, her home, she was an antique dealer. So she had an antique store already. And what was cool about this is that she had already had a card attached to it with what it is. I'm going to verify it, of course, as much as I can. But this is a priest's cloak, cloche, made in a nunnery in Rome, Italy. It's Mechlin lace or Buckinghamshire lace, 1698 to 1705. That's how old this is.
That's crazy.
So this, again, I paid maybe $1. I paid, the way I worked it out is I paid something like 25 cents for each item that I purchased.
And this is all like
This is all handmade lace.
That's nuts.
That is, 300 plus years old. It's very fragile. It has a lot of tiny little holes in it, but it is a good sized piece that, someone will pay good money for. Cool. I have not done any comps. I do understand that it's going to be pretty relative, but I would probably comp this somewhere in the couple $100 range.
Mm-hmm. Gwen, aka Cool Casual Vibe, has given a $24.99 super chat. Super chats are on fire today.
I know, you guys are.
Gwen says, Merry Christmas, Katie and Vikki. No super chat song necessary. Vikki has been through enough today. Thanks for everything. Gwen, we really do appreciate it. We only do one show a week. Normally we did a couple this week. But because that's all the time that we're able to give, because we really don't make any significant money from, definitely not for the time that we put into it from doing this show or having this channel. So anytime you guys do contribute to it, it does help us a lot. Helps us to keep kind of doing this for you guys. So we really do appreciate it. Mm-hmm. We were very, very grateful.
Thank you.
So thank you. And I will not sing a super chat song.
So I want to answer a couple of the questions here. Mm-hmm. Yes, I absolutely will not be washing any of these items. Mm-mm. No. So anybody that's, no, they will fall apart. They will absolutely disintegrate. I can wash things through the 60s and 70s, but prior to that, most items I will not wash. They're going to be sold as is. It's definitely not a tablecloth. It is a long piece, but it's not a tablecloth. It's not shaped in that way. Let's see, this is a very cool item that I thought I really liked. So this is a 1940s wool Lord and Taylor tuxedo. So it's probably bespoke, which means it was probably custom made and custom fit for someone. But it's a vintage men's tuxedo, and it is
so
wool.
Cool. And
it has tails, which is really cool. So it's a formal tuxedo, and it has the white wainscot vest and bow tie. These were actually very, very yellow. I soaked these overnight in OxyClean to clean them, and they came pretty clean, much better than they were. But that was the only thing that I did with this. It does have the pants and the top, and this is actually in beautiful condition. I'll probably sell this for about $300.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that piece a lot. There's just such a wide variety to show you.
Yeah. And for the most part, she's not washing stuff, but like she said, she did the OxyClean on what's it called again?
The vest.
Only because The suit itself is in such fantastic condition, and it had such gross stains on it that it was kind of like,
it looked like somebody had been shot. It looked like blood.
It was worth the risk.
Yeah, it was worth the risk, because that piece I would not have sold with the with the tuxedo.
And now it looks
now
great.
I'll put it with it.
Yeah.
So this is another vintage. This is 1960s. I'm just jumping around all over the place. This is handmade in Italy. It's a vintage 1960s cardigan.
Ooh.
With all little hand sewn, hand beaded, not hand beaded, but hand sewn little sequins all over it. It's very cute.
Very fancy.
And it's a fun color. No damage that I can see to this one. A little bit of yellowing around the collar. Collar's a little bit stretched out, but still very, very wearable. And this is the type of thing that I would sell. This is probably like the $65, $75 range. Not a super high end, but very cute. Another one that will actually sell. This is a vintage handmade 1960s dress in a like a silk shantung fabric. But it's got this handmade, hand beaded neckline, and it's just it's a fitted dress. It's a wiggle dress. This is a small or an extra small. And I think I've talked about this before. A wiggle dress is when it's fitted at the bodice, but also fitted all the way down to the knee or just past the knee.
The bodice.
A very fitted skirt. And it would be past the knee, and it wouldn't have any pleats. And they call it a wiggle dress because when women would walk with it in their high heels and it went below their knees, they kind of like, you're wiggling.
I know. I have to deal with it all the time.
Yeah. So this one is beautifully made, and I would consider this dead stock because it's a handmade dress that has no hem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Crystal put a hem on it, and it will be just a really pretty tiny dress. So this is like one that I'll probably sell for the $75 range. And I've just got a couple more, and then we can get back to Katy's t-shirts, and I'll be done for the day. Another 1960s. This is a gold, like a gold brocade fabric with a really, really fun pattern. And the same type of thing. This looks like this was something that someone made, and then they never hemmed it. So it's never been worn because it's never been hemmed. I don't know. Maybe they
were just designing it, and there's no point in finishing it, or it was like just a sample, or...
I mean, most of these clothes people would make for themselves. So, and it has a nice metal zipper. It's lined. It's very nicely made. Very, very 60s as far as the style. Yeah. It's got the
we've been watching The Crown,
tight underbust, and
we just finished up the 3rd season of The Crown, and so it's been interesting to see. I mean, the men's clothing is pretty meh because for the most part, it's mostly men in suits. But some of the women's fashion has been really, really cool to see.
Yeah. Another thing, I'll have this one hemmed. This one I'll probably list in like the 75 to 100, 120. I don't know, probably 125. And then who knows what it'll end up selling for. But let's see. Do I think most of it will be long tail? Yes. All vintage clothing is long tail. Almost everything that I sell is long tail. The dolls will move much faster because those go to collectors, and I'm going to price them to move quickly. But vintage clothing is always long tail. But because I've had my store for as long as I have, which is several years at this point, I'm constantly selling. So some things will sell quickly. Some things take a year to sell, but I'm always putting new inventory. So my stuff I listed a year ago is now moving. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe that, but I have constant turnover because I've had my store for so long.
Right.
So if I were a brand new seller listing only vintage clothing, I think it would take me quite a while to have consistent sales.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. This is one Katy wanted me to show. I just have four more guys. So if you're bored, I apologize.
So much stuff. No, it's really cool. She just had so much stuff to pick for, and she didn't know to show, and she wasn't sure what to show. And this was something she showed me that I thought was really cool looking.
So this is vintage, not quite antique, but this is probably 20s or so. This is what they would call a piano scarf. I don't know why it was called that. I think it's because you could drape it over the top of a piano. So it's hand done embroidery, and it's just a black satin, might have some silk, maybe some silk scarf, and it has fringe netting all the way around it.
I feel like the camera doesn't do it justice.
It's really, really pretty. But it does have a very, very big hole on one side. What's nice about it, can you see the hole?
Oh yeah.
So the hole is all on one side that could very easily, someone could cut this and put the fringe where they cut it. And it would still make a very beautiful shawl or piano shawl, which is what it would be called.
Yeah.
It's really, really pretty. So I'm not that person because I don't sew, and this would be too big of a job for me to ask Crystal to do. So I will sell it as is, but even as is, I think I can get at least $75.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Couple of more sweaters. I showed a couple of things like this in the vintage in the haul initially, or the very quick video of the haul. Vintage 1950s cardigans, hand beaded. There's quite a few of them. They're all cashmere. This particular one doesn't have any holes, which is nice. A lot of them have holes. So without the holes, this one I'll probably sell for about $75. This one is, again, a very similar beaded, heavy, hand beaded, vintage 50s. 50s label with a cardigan, hand beaded, again, cashmere. This one has one or two tiny little moth holes in it. I do not think it will detract from the price. This is actually a lined one. The lining has a couple of holes, but the sweater itself only has one or two. So this woman had this in her antique store for $60. I think that is actually too low. And it was in the let's see, what is it called? Oh, her antique store was called Long Beach Antique Mart, by the way. But anyway, I think she had it listed too low. I think I can get about $100 for this. It's actually a larger size, which is nice. I'll do a little steam to make it look better. Make peace. How do you get vintage BO out of shirts and dresses? If it's really has an awful odor to it or very noticeable odor, I probably won't sell it. It's not an easy thing to get out. None of these have any odor. There are a couple pieces that have a little bit of a mothball smell, and mothball smell is nearly impossible to get rid of.
The worst.
I don't even try. I just don't even try. I just disclose it, and people that are buying it and people that buy vintage clothing and vintage linens, they understand that that smell is a thing, and they will try their own way to get rid of it. And I don't bother to try to do it because a lot of the ways that people tell you to do it is very damaging. Yeah. And I'm not willing to damage something further. I'm trying to rescue it, and I am not the best person to be trying new things to try to clean them.
Yeah.
I am very itchy nose. I'm so sorry. I think somebody had cats.
Probably.
So there's some cat fur on some stuff. And this is my last piece that I'm going to show. And again, I don't know if it'll translate well or not, but this is a 1940s vintage dress. It's a vintage drop waist 1940s dress. And this is in like a rayon. It's not rayon, but it was the fabric that was the precursor to rayon. So it's got some 3/4 sleeves that button up. I'm trying to see if this will translate well, if you can actually see it. This one's in good shape. There's nothing wrong with this one. It's a semi-sheer type of dress with a big collar. And this is 1940s. And I'll probably
1940s goth.
Yeah, early 1940s goth. And this one, actually, there's a little bit of damage in it, but not bad. I will probably sell this in the neighborhood of $75 too.
Nice.
And that's it.
That's it. All right. Who wants to see some t-shirts, guys? I'll just go quickly through some of the highlights. Of course, I always love me some Star Trek. This is a really awesome all over print Captain Kirk Star Trek t-shirt.
Captain Kirk all over prints. If you want Captain Kirk's entire face on your entire body.
Who doesn't? I want his eyeball right in my armpit. Come on.
That's where it would be.
Anyway, this is a really cool shirt. I don't remember exactly what I paid for this, but I don't think it was more than like $30. But very, very cool. It's just real tiny.
I want to answer one question in the chat here. So Kelly Hiplophamama said, is it a morning dress? So the black dress, it could be considered a morning dress, but morning clothing was more traditionally seen in the Victorian or Edwardian era. So it's much earlier than 1940. If they were going to, yes, it's probably something someone wore to mourn because there wasn't a lot of black clothing being worn in the 40s, but it was not, technically mourning clothing is something that's going to be in like more turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s.
Interesting. All right.
An eyeball pit hit. That's good.
I got another Ducks sweatshirt. This one's funny. It's got it says, can the beaver come out and play? So this is probably, might have been like a Civil War. That's what they used to call it in Oregon. I think they changed it, no longer call it Civil War games, but this is it's a cool sweatshirt right here. It's funny because, when I was on the Oregon State women's rugby team, I remember one of my friends came to watch one of the games and she had made her own sign that said, "You can't lick our beavers." You like that?
Inappropriate.
Whatever. Anyway, fun sweatshirt. Paid $10 for it. I'll probably list this one pretty high.
Jacob says that's forward.
All right. I've got an awesome Lollapalooza tank top. I think I only paid like $25 for this because it's a tank top. But it's 1994.
I was at that show.
Lollapalooza. This one, Beastie Boys, Smashing Pumpkins, George Clinton, the P-Funk All-Stars, L7, Boredoms, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, the Breeders, and Tribe Called Quest.
Providence, right in the middle.
There you go. The tour. There you go. Nice little tank top here. I paid like $25 for it. Probably try to sell it for $100. Skip some of this stuff. Try to get to the good stuff. Let's see. Hold on. I got another all over prints. This is a Magic Johnson tee. Denver Broncos all over print. Liz
is jealous.
She totally is. I really like finding the Magic Johnson tees. This is his line of t-shirts. They usually have pretty cool graphics on them. So I can price them up quite a bit. But I think I probably paid like $35 for this, but I'll try to sell it for $100. Awesome t-shirt.
Yes, Megan, that Lollapalooza was awesome. I went to 94, 95, or the two that I think I went to 96 as well. That's a little fuzzy. I'm not sure if I did or not. But those years were fantastic.
So for you music lovers out there, I don't know how I got such a good deal with this t-shirt, but this one I only paid $10 for. This is from, it says, I don't know if it was US 83, us 83. Some of you old folks
I feel like this old folk I feel like this shirt reminds me of Band-Aid. Okay. Yeah. So as far as the lineup and so the year, us? But it's not Band-Aid because it's a completely different lineup than was at Band-Aid. But
seriously, guys, check this lineup out. It is insane. We got David Bowie, Stevie Nicks, John Cougar, Pretenders, Missing Persons, U2, Quarterflash, Berlin, Little Steven and the Disciples of Soul, Van Halen, Scorpions, Triumph, Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, Joe Walsh, Motley Crue, The Clash, Men at Work, Stray Cats, English Beat, Flock of Seagulls, Oingo Boingo, what does it say? Hall of Voodoo, In Excess, Divinals. I mean, come on. This is like, I don't know what this festival was, but it looks awesome. And I paid $10 for it. I have no idea how many of these t-shirts are out there. I haven't done any research on it. So I have no idea what I'm going to price it at. I got to look it up, but it's just a very, very cool t-shirt for sure.
I did go to Lilith Fair, Megan. I did. I was at
Of course she did.
Yep.
Of course she did. Have you guys ever seen But I'm a Cheerleader? She's the one that looks at her wall.
I was a cheerleader.
Yeah, she's the movie. I saw
Melissa Etheridge in concert a few times.
And remember the scene where she looks at her wall and she's got the Melissa Etheridge poster on her wall, and it's like, how did we not see the truth? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me, guys. She likes gayer music than I'm gay. So, Rush Counterparts t-shirt, 1994 tour. I'm just trying to blast through this pretty quick, so I think I got some cool stuff to show. But she's mad because I didn't give her this shirt. An abominably Merry Christmas is actually a sleep shirt. I'll probably just list it by size as like it's probably like a 3X or something like that. But
I would sleep in it.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
I'm a big Rudolph Misfits fan, by the way, so that would be why I wanted her to give that one to me.
She was real mad at me.
I wouldn't wear that in public. I would wear it to bed.
This awesome how to spot the very best PCs, Intel inside, super thin, vintage tech t-shirt. You guys know I love finding vintage tech t-shirts. I paid like $10 for this one, and I will sell this one for, we'll probably list it for like 100 and see what I can get. I bought multiple Flintstone t-shirts. This one's pretty cute. It's got Betty and Wilma on it, and look at that fashion, huh?
They're looking pretty gangsta.
What do you think? And then on the back it says, "Hey, girlfriend."
Oh my god, it's just so bad.
Hey, girlfriend. This is a 90s t-shirt on a Delta tag right here, but I'll price this up. I'll try to sell it for at least $75.
So tacky.
Rude. You're rude. I wish this one had a better graphic on it. Remember the some of the band tees I got last week? I got some more. So it says Miller Genuine Draft on the front, but the back, you guys, George Michael. So this is those express t-shirts where you get your ticket, you go on the express bus in Vegas, and you go to see the show in you singing?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Go ahead.
I said no. Keep going.
Anyway, you hopped on the bus. You got your T-shirt. You got to go to the show. I wish it had George Michael actually, like a picture of him actually on it, but still an awesome T-shirt. I bought like 5 shirts. This was included in the lot for $200. So whatever that ends up being for that. Let's see. Another Christian.
You need to get back onto the flea because you have some good stuff for the flea now.
Well, now that, yeah, for sure. Now that I've been buying some more
four-time MVP seller of the flea.
Indeed. Cross training, another Christian t-shirt.
I like the cross training shirt. You need to show that one again. You flipped by that too quickly. Show it.
Cross training. I don't know, Megan, I don't know that I'd be able to sell them to you for your flea set just because I paid up so much for them. I need to get quite a bit to make it worth my purchase. But yeah, I like this cross training one. Come on, that's a cool shirt. That's a cool shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I was super stoked to pick up this all over print Oregon map shirt. I'll show you where I'm from.
We're very blurry today for some reason. It keeps blurring out.
It's just not focusing. Hold on.
That's what blurry means. Not focused.
All right. So let me show you. So when Vikki and I met, I was living in Silverton, right there. Okay. Sublimity, where I grew up, isn't even on here, but
that's how small the town is.
It's very small. All right. I'm almost done, guys. Another Flintstone shirt. This is the whole dang family right there. It says Flintstones on the back. Again, I think these Flintstones ones, I got like 2 of them. I paid like $100 for 2 of them, so they're like $50 a piece. But I'll get minimum $100 on them at least. So it's worth it to get all this awesome inventory to pay up a bit. I love this right here. This Dick Dastardly.
I like
this one. I think I paid like $75.
That's what that dog used to do.
Dick Dastardly.
Muttley?
Yep, Muttley. It says Muttley on the back. Nice big graphic. But I definitely paid up on this one, maybe $80. But I will be selling this for minimum $150, $200. Just a really cool 90s. You can see the Wild Oats tag. And I've got just a couple more things here. Got my snack tee, this awesome Lifesavers t-shirt. I will try to sell this for a minimum of 100. This kind of stuff is really popular right now. It says on the front, "Isn't life delicious?" It's on this 90s Hanes tag, and just a really cool graphic with all the different Lifesavers. Some pretty good flavors there. We got Perry Pineapple. Outlandish Orange
and butter rum. Do they have
Loony
butter rum?
Lime. No, disgusting.
Oh.
Laughing Lemon and Wacky Wild Cherry. So I actually like all these flavors. They don't have any like gross.
Pineapple and butter rum are the 2 best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. None of this stuff is new. This is all used. All the white stuff. All the white ones I bleached. I seriously went because I bought like 150 shirts this last week, or for the last 2 weeks. I went through like over a gallon of bleach on my whites. Mm-hmm. I love. This is an '80s Georgia Tech yellow jacket sweatshirt. I love the design of this because it's kind of got that like Guess. That kind of Guess bum kind of look to it. Mm-hmm. And it's got the wraparound. It's
got the LA
Georgia.
Gear look around.
Yeah.
It looks like LA Gear lettering.
And it wraps around Georgia Tech. Just a really cool sweatshirt. This is from like, I think it says like 1987 on it. So this is just a really cool sweatshirt. I'll show you the tag. This is that Russell Athletic tag that went into the 90s. But an awesome. So I'll put this one up for like $100 because it's just a really cool design and look.
I like that one.
Now, hands down, my favorite thing I got this week.
Hands down, finger up.
Hands down, ET finger up. My favorite thing I picked up this week, you guys.
I love this one too.
I'm really excited about this. I love it because it's unique. Can't find another one out there like it. This is one that I'm going to price high. Actually, I already have it up. I didn't price it crazy high, but $200. But I'm going to wait to get that because I think it's just an awesome shirt. It has Geraldo Rivera on it. It says, Geraldo made me kill. Young satanic slayer, watch TV show, then stabbed mom, cops say. So this is just like I don't even know what
it's
this
like
is from.
News of the Weird.
Yeah, News of the Weird.
You know, Bat Boy, and they used to have in the 80s, like it was a big deal. Bat Boy would be on the cover. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure. So this one I only paid like I think $16 because I think it might have been on his $20 rack. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the $20 rack, and he gave them to me for $16 a piece. I believe this is one of the ones on it, but he originally had it priced at like $40, which I would have paid even that. But I don't know how long he's had it for a few months. And
National Enquirer style, exactly, Leah.
But this is something that I will definitely sell for like $200. And it's on a Frugal Loom tag, made in the USA. It's the 90s. It's got on the sleeve, I think it says Ransom Note Graphics. It was probably just some like t-shirt graphic company in the 90s that put out a bunch of weird stuff and then it doesn't exist anymore. But this kind of thing I love. I'm gonna sell it for $200. That's what I say.
I think more. Club Kids and Al Capone's Vault. Exactly, Jacob. That was the best.
Yeah. Anyway. That's it, guys. I just went through those super fast because I want to show you some of the good stuff. But man, I am getting so much. I'm loving it because there was a number of months when Yesterday's Fits, they just weren't getting the volume of stuff that I wanted to that I really source there regularly. And now it's like he's got it just pouring in. I love it. I can go there every week and never have to go anywhere else and get amazing stuff for great prices. So I'm pretty stoked about it. So,
and now that we've done our typical 1 hour and 47-minute show.
Yes. What's your point?
I'm just saying. It's a long one.
You just want to get your phone back. That's all. You
Yes.
drank all my Gatorade.
I was thirsty. Yes, I was thirsty. It was a lot of talking. And so today we're both done working for the day. We are going to wrap presents. We've been putting it off for 2 weeks now. I haven't wrapped a single flipping thing. Yeah. A million presents to wrap. I don't know when I'm going to get them to people because we've got Dana with the Rona. We've got another friend with the Rona. So,
see, I'm all about wait until the day before Christmas to wrap presents. So she's like, we got to do it now. And so
I got to get it out of my spare bedroom. It's driving me crazy.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. We will be back next Sunday. And between now and then, it's going to be Christmas.
It is.
It's going to be Christmas. So we'll be able to show you maybe next week, our haul will be like what I got for Christmas haul.
You never know.
You never know. If I did get you anything, I don't know. What do you think?
I better have presents to unwrap.
She already got like 2 or 3 presents for me because they were Christmas ones, and I wanted her to be able to actually enjoy them. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out
says
with
I
us.
have to start shopping tomorrow.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, it's for sure coming if you buy online.
There you go. We will see you next Sunday. In the meantime, enjoy the holidays. Just relax.
I want to answer Tommy's
Watching
question.
movies.
I'm sorry.
We're wrapping stuff up.
On Friday, Tommy asked a question.
Okay.
Mentioned cash accounting. First in, first out is what I was talking about. Cash accounting, first in, first out. It's the cash or the accrual method. There's two different methods. Those are the two you want to look at. But if you wanted to know the difference, if you go back through our shows and look for the show that we did last spring with Not Your Dad's CPA, Mark II, the accountant, I would go back and review that show. He does go over both of those in detail. We are going to have him on again this year too, by the way, before we get near Christmas, near tax season. So
yeah. But yeah, Google cash versus accrual accounting, and you'll be able to find all kinds of stuff too. So, all right, guys, see you later. Thank you very much.
Have a great Christmas.
Eat lots of treats. Wear pajamas every day, all day, and all your dreams will come true.
And Cheryl will be thinking good thoughts from
Absolutely. All right. Bye, guys.